What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to today's review, where another game is gone, another game we shall review. And today's review is going to be groceries, a bento, and some ghosts, the convenience store review, because this is a game that I was trying to review, for the life of me, when my computer was down, and I couldn't, and now I can. It's why this review, the article isn't late. The article was on time, but this video review really wasn't. So imagine you're a college student going to your part-time job, stocking the shelves, fixing things that your boss could probably fix on his own, but hey, that's why he has you, right? All is normal. This job gets you fed while studying for your next final and just everything else in between that makes you go cray-cray. Just don't disturb the ancient spirit convenience store thing and you'll be fine. You'll escape with your head intact and your bowels in place. Now, living as a college student earning their way is tough enough, and throw in a creepy stalker and a vengeful ghost and you can have a combination of the God's Will and Sadako versus Kayako. Both very popular Japanese horror films, by the way. I would suggest looking them up. Now, actually, the game starts off rather boring, to be quite frank. You're walking, you're going to your work, you're getting that coin, as the kids say. Am I even saying that right? You're making good old mama and papa proud, but as you go and progress through the game, or each level I should say, there is a tape that is delivered to you, and it shows segments and parts of areas that you were in, like your apartment or the grocery store, more specifically your apartment. Now, getting each tape, the ring, I know, it delivers these kinds of cryptic messages that you have to uncode and discover the meaning behind. Now, these tapes are short, creepy, and to the point, and there are two endings of the game, depending on if you take the talisman that some random lady gives to you on your night shift. You should be fine, or if you don't take the talisman, then I would consider yourself screwed. But I mean, for me personally, I took the talisman because, you know, rather safe than sorry. It's a very classic 90s horror movie vibes, where the mechanics are simple. They're to the point, they're very fluid, very nice, easy to work with, the kind of mechanics I enjoy. The scares are genuine though. The scares actually are really well crafted, and even though the tasks are mundane, they flow with the game rather well. There's some tasks that I was just like, okay, you know, this is kind of boring, you know, it doesn't distract from the core of the game. It's still something how, you know, it tries to convey a message to you. It's not just one theme. There are many different themes going throughout this game. This is horror, but it's done right, okay? I'll let you in on a little secret. Good horror is slow to start, then it progressively picks up in speed, much like Alien Isolation, actually. Now, with that being said, while good horror is slow to start, there's the execution of plot line and closes with an intentional cliffhanger or a tight seal to conclude said storyline without possible confusion or lingering questions to an extent, which this one actually does. This one has like a tight seal to it where you're just like, oh crap, are there any questions, or any of this or any of that? No, this one really closes it off very nicely. There was nothing really lost in translation, not just with this game, but with a lot of horror movies back in the day in general, and I think that's the essence that they were trying to capture here, was that everything has a purpose and everything had the time and place and a correct balance to it. And I feel like that's something that's kind of lost today with a lot of different types of horror games. I feel like a lot of horror games are just trying to scare you instead of really trying to entrance you and capture you into the story. Not all games are like this, I understand that, but a lot of them are. For example, The Evil Within 2. The Evil Within 2 left off on a major cliffhanger. And you know, in this game, one minute your boss says boo, and then the next his eyes are gouged out in a shed. Tough times. Even the puzzle at the very end. The puzzle at the very end was very tricky, believe it or not. Even though this is a very short game, it took me maybe an hour to get through this at the most. It was very tricky and well done at the very end of the game, which, by the way, you guys, I would totally recommend this game. If any of you want to play it, it's down in the description below for you guys to check it out. So the graphics in this game were okay. Some of it was nostalgic, some of it was downright funny with how a lot of it was just accomplished. I don't even know how to describe it, but you know, if I could find a graphic referencing what I'm talking about, I should have taken a screenshot of it, but I didn't. If I can find a graphic, you know, referencing what I'm talking about, I'll insert it here. But it was just, even the mechanics were okay. They weren't the greatest. Some things I wish they would have condensed and made a little more simplified, so there wasn't as much backing and forthing. There's even an option in the video game to view the entire game from the lenses of an old VHS tape. I mean, that is so Sailor Moon 90s aesthetic. I absolutely love it so much. The fact that you could just view that from an old VHS tape, like you could see the game through like an old VHS type recording. It was nostalgic. I loved it. For those of you who don't know what a VHS is, so the game has very old school, cute aesthetics that make the game have a classic feel to it, and I vibe with it. Like you know, the vibe check is good with this one. So the haunting ends, or does it? We'll never know. The horror aspect from walking to your apartment to work at the nighttime was really realistic, and it was a true fear that I think a lot of us have. So to have that inside a game, I think that was also very well done too, because I remember walking and also driving to my job up at school at the nighttime when literally it's like twilight out, and it's just the creepiest thing ever. Many of us have that fear, and I feel like the game really played on such a realistic fear that all of us truly embody. Like, we are all afraid of, well, I mean, I'm not really truly afraid, but we are all to some extent really afraid of the dark and what it has within it. And it's just our minds being like, oh, you know, you're afraid because of this, you're afraid because of this story. There's no real true fear that it has, if you really think about it, which is kind of philosophical on the same token, but I could do an entire video on why people are afraid of the dark. I highly recommend this game to anybody who loves classic horror or 90s inspired games. It's really well done, really good horror in general. It's simplistic, it's to the point. This game really took me by surprise, and I'm so glad I was able to play it. I think you guys will really enjoy it too. But if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below, because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and double uploads on Friday. And be sure to stay tuned for Friday's video, where I'm going to be going over my pickups for the month of October, and Psychologically Gaming will be moved to next week, because the double upload for Friday is going to be intense. We have the pickups for October, and we have the review of the Siren Mini that's going to be coming out, so I hope you guys enjoy those. But stay casually nerdy, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.